Hey guys, Dr. Eric, your fitness physician here.
Trainer Jeff.
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm awesome, man. I just ate. I had a nice long fast today in about almost 20 hours, and I just came home and I ate earlier, but I ate again today. So.
I fasted for about 10 minutes, but anyway.
Nice.
So we'll lead into this question. We're going to try to do some questions, guys, to help you out with some, I guess there's a lot of urban legends out there about different diets and different things, and everybody's doing a different diet plan. They have their own advice, their own special little remedy that works. I'm sure you hear it in your office.
Yeah, we're going to do a bunch of question and answer sessions, guys. We're going to try to do these, if we can, every week or maybe a few times a month. We try to fire off, my patients and Jeff's clients, obviously, here. We're going to get some of the most requested, questions, things that people are confused about. We're going to try to address them live here and shoot those out to you. And if anything you want to know about, just let us know.
Yeah, just fire us up, hit us up with some questions. But one of the biggest questions right now is fasting seems to be the trend in the industry as far as every client will talk about their fasting. And one of the first questions I say is, what did you put in your coffee?
Yeah.
And they'll say, well, all I had was some sweet and low. Well, like you say,
stick of butter.
Wrong answer, or
a stick of butter.
medium chain fats. And I'm like, well, that is breaking your fast. But Eric, you can explain better from the medical side why that breaks the fast, because it's just you're killing the cell cleansing, if I'm right, correct?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's all, as with everything in medicine, the answer is it depends. So everything's taken in context, right? So if you're doing a fast just to kind of let your belly heal and help to burn some fat, if you want to put a little something in your coffee, a little bit of creamer, some MCT oil, totally fine. Technically, you are breaking the fast. Any calories, carbs, fats, protein, anything like that is technically going to break the fast. Now, if that's all you eat and then you go for another 4 hours, you're still burning calories. You're still, the whole point of fasting and all these things are just to be hypocaloric. So in order to lose weight, you got to burn off more than you take. And now there's more to it. We know about the hormonal influence of the food, what you eat, when you eat, how you eat it, nutrient timing, partitioning, and things of this nature. We'll get into in some future videos. But technically, you're breaking your fast, but you're still getting health benefits. Now, if the goal is extreme fat loss or, like what you mentioned, cleansing, or what we call autophagy, where your body's kind of being the Pac-Man and cleaning up all that cellular debris, the old damaged tissues and cells, for maximum autophagy, you don't want any kind of calories coming in at all. So if you're doing an 18, 20, 24 hour or longer fast, you're really cleaning your cells up and healing your tissues from within. So a lot of the studies out there like have been done showing even like the longer prolonged fast, beyond 48 hours, 48, 72 hours are for maximum benefits. But, again, for most of our folks, they're looking at doing like a 16-8 protocol or something simple, like what you do. You throw a little bit of stevia or some cream. Right. Technically, you're breaking your fast, but again, in the big picture, again, unless you're trying to lose a massive amount of weight, it's not going to make a big difference.
But you're still getting your calorie burn, even if you break your fast, because people say, well, you broke your fast, you screwed up. Well, no, you haven't, because you're still, as you say, the less you take in and the more you burn, that equals weight loss, which is weight loss 101.
Correct.
But another leading into another topic is amino acids. I think people have a huge misconception about actually what they do. Because people will say, well, I didn't break my fast, all I've had is my aminos today. Well, wrong answer again, you broke your fast.
Right.
And the reason you broke your fast is because it has a caloric value, which is going to trigger different things in the body or whatnot. But also, can you explain to people, because this is a big question, they say, well, if I don't have my amino acids right after I work out, then my body's chewing up all of my muscles for energy, which is, I don't think that's correct and incorrect, if it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And the whole, finishing up our previous conversation, is that we're trying to teach people how to be metabolically flexible. You hear that word a lot on the internet, and a lot of people want to be fat adapted or versus carb adapted. So the more metabolically flexible you are, that means you can burn carbs or fats. The body does run more efficiently on a fat source, which is why the ketogenic is so hot nowadays. But I think extremes are not always a good thing. I think it's good to go in and out of ketosis if you're doing that. But if you're eating a pretty whole foods diet, you're insulin sensitive, you're losing your weight, you're fit, you're active, you're working out, you're going to be able to shift from fuel sources. So yeah, if you eat a little bit of, chug a little bit of cream or have a little bit after you're still getting the benefits. It's not like, technically, could you go out of ketosis or shift your metabolic, what you're burning a little bit? Maybe, but you're going to flip right back to it later.
Right.
Because if you're eating clean the rest of the day, you're going to shift right back and go burning fat.
And even if you eat up to, 100 carbs a day, you still don't technically kick your body out of ketosis, correct?
You could, but even if you do, it's going to be minimal.
You're right back in it
You're
as
right
soon as
back
you burn
in
it off. Because I've always been a fan of after, because a lot of people aren't, quote, fat adapted, because
Right.
that takes a long time technically, right? I mean, it takes a while for your body to convert fat into a fuel source.
It can take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. Now, if you're
Especially
eating,
for athletes, because
yeah.
they're so, the enzymes and everything, they're so used to the carbohydrate matrix that they have to, it takes a while to convert over.
yeah, if you look at like the Krebs cycle, there's an enzyme called PDH, etc. And when you're eating carbs all the time, you're using that. But if you stop doing it, it's going to shut that down. You're going to shift to eating more or using more fats for fuels. But if you're like eating the standard American diet, you eat like crap processed foods and vegetables, yeah, it's going to take you probably a few weeks to get fat adapted. It's going to be
Right.
harder. So if you kind of shift it more to paleo, slowly shift yourself to that direction. If you go full keto or fast, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier.
Because
you're going
that's-
to flip it that much
And that's
quicker.
why when you have the keto, you're doing number 2 a lot. It's just how it's going to work. It's
That's right.
uncomfortable, but you
It
know,
definitely can be.
I'm not a fan of keto. I mean, I think it has its place, but I've always been a fan of just, all nutrients and cycling. Like what you're saying,
Cycling,
if
yeah.
it falls or
Yep.
falls off a tree or grows in the ground, or
Right, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you eat it, right?
Exactly.
So,
whole
you know.
food stock. I think the paleo diet is across the board the easiest and the healthiest, but there's a lot of benefits to keto too. But I think I've flirted and I'm playing around with it, and we're going to talk in some future videos about some ideas I've got for shifting and cycling. A lot of people talk about targeted ketogenic diets or cyclical ketogenic diets. Those are all great. And
Say
there's-
that 5 times fast.
Yeah, I can't even say it just now.
I
once.
know, right?
so, going back to your amino acid question,
Yeah.
I think, I get that a lot too. Like after I work out, what do I eat? If again, it goes back to context. If you're looking to put on muscle and as much as you can, yeah, you probably want to take in some whey or some amino acids, but you don't have to do it right away. There used to be the old school logic of, oh, that
45.
anabolic window, man.
Yes.
If I don't eat or chug a shake within the first 45 minutes, I'm going to shrivel away. We've debunked that completely, guys.
And didn't you see a study where you were telling me not too long ago, your body, you have up to 24 hours and your body will still uptake the nutrients and repair the muscle the same as if you chug it right after you work
Correct.
out.
Muscle protein synthesis lasts up to 24 hours.
Right.
Sometimes longer, depending on your overall training status and your nutrition. But as long as you're getting your calories, your protein, and all your nutrients in over that 24-hour window, it's gonna be fine. You don't need to chug a shake right away.
Right.
That being said, again, if you're feeling it or you're just hungry or you're really trying to put on some mass, then go ahead and have a little shake. No big deal.
So in your opinion, what is the benefit? Because I hear this school of thought a lot. I mean, your body burns carbohydrates as fuel, and your body also burns amino acids as fuel, correct? Is that a myth or is that true? Because a lot of people drink their aminos during a workout and they say, oh, it's the preferred, quote, fuel for the body.
Technically, your body doesn't, unless it has to, doesn't burn amino acids. It's going to burn preferably glucose, ketones and fat first.
So what's going to happen with those aminos? during the
Aminos are
workout?
structural. Your body's using those to build muscle, build hormones, molecules, cell membranes. It's structural. Now, if somebody's like starving, they haven't eaten for like a week or 2 weeks, you read about like the Minnesota starving experiment, these things, yeah, your body's going to start to break down the muscle. So you're really doing the amino acids to fuel your workout and give your muscle that fuel. And some of those amino acids can help prevent fatigue by helping process lactate a little more efficiently. It's going to delay that fatigue a little bit. It's just going to give you the little extra oomph in the cellular pathway. It's not technically being used as fuel, but you are fueling your muscles, if that makes sense.
So in your opinion in the medical field, what is the benefit of when you're done working out, drinking amino acids instead of a shake or any of that? What is the thought?
I think the best thing after you work out, all you need to do is take in some protein. You don't have to slam the
A good whey
carbs and the
protein
fat. A
has
good
all
whey
your
protein
aminos.
has everything you need. You don't need, people talk about, I got to take the carbs to pump my insulin,
Right.
to shut down cortisol.
Yes.
You actually get an insulin spike from amino acids. A lot of people don't realize that leucine is very stimulating to insulin, but it's in a safe way. And again, if you're not taking a bunch of fat and carbs, you're not going to shuttle that fat. You just worked out, your muscles are primed. Anything you take, your muscles are going to
Right.
take that in to build. So the best thing is just take some whey, or if you can, maybe some amino acids. Then an hour or two later, eat a meal. You don't have to slam the carbs right afterwards. It's just not necessary. You can, but you don't have to. But again, go by how you feel. If you feel better, drinking some, eat an orange or eat some carbs with your shake, go for it. But it's not necessary.
It comes down to this, I guess, and it's just like, what works for you. Do
Yeah.
you feel better after eat? Personally, I like to wait about an hour and then I eat.
Yeah.
I like to let myself just kind of calm down because
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think that goes into some things we'll talk about. There's that sympathetic parasympathetic balance. When you're after you work out, you're jacked up. Your body's in that fight or flight mode.
yes,
That's why I think it's a good habit when you're done. I lay on the ground. I take 10 slow deep breaths, try to slow myself down and get yourself better, ready to digest. If you go eat, your stomach, your digestion, it's not going to absorb it. Yeah,
you gotta let your body come down.
I think it's good to wait. And even if you're fasted, and we'll talk about this later too, guys. A lot of times I work out fasted. Now I will sometimes do a little bit of aminos right before I work out. But if you're working out fasted, no problem. There's, again, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't. I got to have my carbs and my protein. I'm gonna bonk out." But and some people do, but for the most part, you can do it, and you can do just fine. I do it all the time. And then afterwards, again, if you're like you were talking about earlier, what are you doing it for? If you're fasting to maximize that cellular turnover,
right?
You got up to at least an hour at post workout to even eat before anything really negative happens.
No, I agree.
So,
it's just one of those things. You're going to read 500 different articles and have 500 different answers, but
right.
I would trust Dr. Eric because you know what you're doing. That's why you went to school.
Right.
So,
guys, we're going to focus on the hormonal science, the science of metabolism, muscle building, and fat burning from a science-based level, from looking strictly at the hormones, how it works, what really works, cut through all the crap. So hopefully that helped. And
because I can tell you, working with him and being around him, that there's so much to it that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to defer to Dr. Eric. He can explain it because there's just way too much. And when you start looking at the hormonal panel, like you showed me, that was like, wow, that was like the light bulb moment, as my friend says. And when you can get into that, which we'll get into later, but it's crazy. But so that's the question of the week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope we didn't elaborate too long, but you can go on and on about this stuff.
Absolutely, we could talk forever. So looking forward to answering more questions, guys. So
keep them coming.
Hope everybody has a great week. If you have any questions, fire them off, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
guys.